Good morning, guys. How are we doing? It's 27th of October, 2022. See, I got it right this time. I wanted to talk to you guys this morning about a little story that I've seen about the CEO of a software company firing people because they got two jobs, saying that they're stealing and being unethical because they work two jobs. Well, here's a thought. And this isn't just a thought for this person, but for anyone who's running a business. If you pay your staff a proper living wage so they don't have to work a second job, they won't have to work the second job to make ends meet. Funny that, isn't it? Isn't that the weirdest thing? So many people go into business and they think, I'll go into business, I'll hire loads of people, blah, 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 blah. And they pay a minimum wage and then they wonder why they're getting 2 and 3 and 4 jobs to make ends meet. Well, if you only hired one person instead of 5 people and you paid them a living wage, you probably find, number 1, they're more productive. Number 2, they're going to be more loyal. Number 3, they're going to be less stressed and actually enjoy their job. And if you are known to be a company that hires people and pays them properly, you're going to get people who actually want to be there, who aren't just there because they need another job. Do you see where I'm going? In countries where a proper living wage, in line with inflation, in line with all living costs, is enforced, the labour force, it's been found that the labour force is more productive, more excited to be there, less stressed, has more time for family and friends, has more time to enjoy themselves, and gets their job done in half the time. Yeah. They're less likely to have heart attack, stroke, mental breakdowns, depression, anxiety, all of the things. Funny that. You see, I understand that there's a big significant difference between what we were paid in the UK over furlough and what they paid in different countries around the world. And I'm aware that, there is an argument to say, well, people are just being lazy. Well, no, people aren't just being lazy, can I just say? In those countries that actually pay them $3,500 a month, you know who you are. If they need $3,500 a month to feed their families, then they're not going to take a job for under that. Because once they've taken a job for under that, then they've got to start paying childcare costs. Then they've got to start paying for transport costs. They've got to possibly pay out for after school care. They've got to pay out for all the things that they've been able to do at home, but now they have to get somebody else to do. Costs go up when you start getting a job. They don't go down, they go up. And if you go off the dole over here, where you might actually get housing benefit, you're now going to have to pay the full whack of your rent. Especially if you're in a council house, you have to pay full rent. So yeah, fun, innit? So taking all that into consideration, and taking into consideration that people in this country only got £70 a week. Oh, wait, sorry. The current Prime Minister, while he was Chancellor, put that £70 up a week up to £90 a week, and then took it away from people just as the cost of living crisis started. Nowhere near £3,500 a month. But still, if people are able to manage their bills on that, somehow they're not going to work. And the reason that they're not going to work is because it's going to cost them too much to do so. So they need to get a job that's going to pay them what they're already getting because they know that they can manage on it. So if all you're offering is 500 quid a month, or £600 a month, or £800 a month, and expecting people to work 18-hour split shifts and produce X amount of this, that, and something else, and to be dressed a certain way, and to look a certain way, and have their hair done a certain way, and have their nails done a certain way, and to do their makeup and all of this kind of stuff, then you better be paying those people a living wage, because if you're not, you can't expect them to turn up in matching socks because they ain't got money for socks. And that's on the employer. That's not on the worker. Now, back when David Cameron was Prime Minister, this conversation came up. And at the time, a living wage in London was supposed to be something like £21.40p an hour. £21.40p an hour. In most other major cities, it was around £17 an hour. And for the rest of the country, around £14 an hour. So, to make it fair, David Cameron put up minimum wage, which was, at that point was £6 something, put it up by 70p. So now it's like £7.10p an hour. And then instead of calling it minimum wage, called it living wage. Because he didn't want to hear it being called minimum wage anymore and didn't want to have a difference of opinion. Since then, it's gone up by 50p. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prime ministers ago. That was a while ago. I mean, I know we've just had 3 in less time than it takes to go through a small bottle of Fairy liquid, but, you know, the other 2 last a little bit longer. You know. But they've gone up by about 50p, 60p. Not a lot. They're certainly nowhere near what they should be for a living wage for a person. Now, there are companies out there who are very generous and that they realise that their staff are the people that run the business, because without them they couldn't run the business, and they pay them a proper wage. But the majority don't. And they will get away with whatever they can get away with. And my message to them is this. If you cannot afford to pay someone a living wage out of the income that you make from your business, don't hire anyone. Do the work yourself until you can afford to pay someone a proper living wage. You will have more productive staff. You will have happier staff, more loyal staff. And they will help you grow your business. They won't just turn up because they're getting a paycheck at the end of the week or the end of the fortnight or the end of the month. Start looking at business different. You know, you have to do that. Because if you don't, you won't have one. Because you won't survive. Simple. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. You have yourself a really, really awesome rest of your day. I love you guys heaps. Blessings. Mwah.